Esmond. Gentle breeze comes in through the half-covered hole on the side of your workshop. There's the nervous knowledge that your friends are kind of loose around the workshop, possibly messing with anything, while you finish up the final touches on quickly sketched blueprints that you've been asked for. Yeah, maybe a cog rolls by. See a little bit of movement in the corner of your eye. They're not perfect. If you had a few more days to work on them, they could be better. But for right now, these blueprints will do.
Well, I've had better designs, but, like about 20 minutes I got these. I'll turn around and pass the blueprints along to... is Yev in the workshop?
Yeah, Yev's nearby. You glance over and you see he's playing with something. Looks... Oh, that's heavy. Oh, that's expensive. No, he shouldn't be playing with that.
Hey, Yev, why don't you put that down? I've got the blueprints ready.
Oh, Esmond. Oh, you're done. Okay. I just put this right there, and he sets it down. It starts to tip like it's going to fall off the side.
A little further back, further on the table, please.
Oh, okay. Slides it over.
Okay. Walk over and pass along the blueprints to him. The design is relatively simple. Kibeth should be able to throw something together following this design or something close to it within a night, if not a handful of hours. She works quickly. So just pass that along to her and let her know what it's for.
Okay, I'll take it. Right over. He starts to kind of takes the blueprints, looks at them, turns them upside down, and turns backwards, looks on the back of it, rolls it up.
Okay, great. Bye.
Okay, see you soon.
As Yev starts to leave, Seifert appears at Esmond's shoulder and kind of gives him a pat on the back. Hey, worst case scenario, Sal loses a limb and you can make him one of those. It'll be super cool. And then she's out after Yev.
I really hope I didn't fuck up those designs. Oh, crap. Esmond's going to turn around and start coming up with, as Seifert is leaving, start designing blueprints for a clockwork prosthetic arm for something that can fit Salinger's frame.
Kibeth, give us a little scene of what Kibeth's doing in her workshop or her smithy before they arrive.
Does she know that they're coming to see her, or she just returned home?
She does not know that they're coming.
Okay. After our little adventure, Kibeth gets back to her shop, and the forge is cold, and she starts doing the process of getting it started for the day. She's stoking the fire, getting it going, adding fuel to it, pumping the bellows. And then she looks at her work table with all the piles and piles of stuff, and she just kind of walks over and puts a box underneath the table and just does that thing with your arm where she sweeps the entire mess into it, and a jumble of nails and arrow tips and all kinds of small things just kind of fall into the box, and she plugs her new hammer on there and she's like, okay, it worked pretty good, but I already feel like I could make the balance a little better. And she's kind of taking charcoal and paper and scribbling when they walk in.
Yeah, the probably the front of the smithy doesn't have walls. It's probably just open with posts and stuff like that. And you see the larger form of Yev, and you probably see some bunny ears close by. Yev comes jogging up. Says, Kibeth.
What's up?
Esmond made these drawings of it's like a cage, I think, but it's for a very small person. And He wants. I actually don't know. I don't know if I know why.
Well, give him to me. I'm not a small person. How small? Like, I mean...
Here, look. And he hands him over, and he kind of puts his hands on his hips. He glances over, and Cypher, and he's like, why are they doing this? What is this?
It's not a cage, it's a muzzle. Sal is looking to study the Aranakis and hopefully not get his face bitten off, and we're hoping that this will help.
Oh, you have it. Wait, you have one?
Yeah, we got one. This seems like a... Yeah, I can make this. Go pump the bellows. Get the fire hotter.
Oh, okay. And he goes over and starts pumping his things. Glance over at Cypher. He's like, hey, what happened? Yes, what happened earlier? Were you guys, what did you do? What did you find? I saw you guys leave town, but...
We were trying to reestablish contact with the temple, and before we could get there, we encountered a couple of the Aranakises.
Oh, those are scary.
I hit it with my hammer. It was great.
We might have an idea of where they're coming from, but the point of order right now is to figure out what we can from the one that we have and find a way to make contact with the temple. Everything else about it is kind of besides the fact for the moment. Just more danger and surprises than we expected to find.
The temple's really long away. Do you think we're going to be able to make it all the way there? You were only gone for half a day, I think.
We were surprised by what we found, so we came back early. But armed with knowledge, we will hopefully be able to make it this time. And yeah, I mean, that's the orders from the verdict anyway. So it's we'll do what we need to do to make it happen.
I only talked to the verdict just a little bit. I only heard him talking to someone, but he seems very different from the mayor. What do you think about him?
Cypher kind of taps her foot thoughtfully and considers it for a moment. I think that he is a very serious man. And he seems like the type to favor his secrets. I think there's a lot that we don't know about him.
So kind of pushing on the bellows and looks around like over his shoulder just in case no one's listening. He says, do you think we can trust him? He's not from town.
I think what we can trust is that his greatest prerogative is to the safety of the nation.
And we, and she points to Cypher and herself, we're adults now. And so, I mean, it is our job to help contribute to the safety of the nation. And I think that ultimately we have to trust the people who are in charge to have that best interest and to tell us what to do, because we're still young.
Yev nods very slowly. It's like, oh, that's a good point. Oh, I wanted to ask, but I didn't. What happens when you become an adult? Like,
you get really strong. She just kind of lifts up her arm.
Wow, and he kind of puts up his and
She's putting irons into the fire to get red hot and turning them over and checking them, seeing if they're ready, and starts working on the anvil, getting things going.
Seyfried kind of leans forward a bit as she kicks off from where she was leaned against a post kind of thing, on her way to take a seat for the time being. She kind of leans over conspiratorially towards Yev and says, when you become an adult, you start to learn why people keep secrets. And then she goes and takes a seat.
Oh, his eyes kind of get wide. They follow you as you. It will, of course, take some time for Kebeth to complete this project. The other characters give us a little, with the exception, I think, of Salinger and Shalati. Give us a little vignette of what your characters are up to in the next couple hours.
I was under the impression that Peach is with Salinger and Shalati.
Okay. Yeah. If you want that to happen, that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. She just she wouldn't have let Sal go with like the big creature thing without. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Araya is still in Esmond's workshop, slowly taking the table that is in pieces and turning it into a wall. She's been borrowing his tools and rather haphazardly, but they have been repairing shitty buildings that got puddinged. It is not a terrible job, but it isn't. It's not great, but it works. So she's like hammering away at it.
Ava would be helping out just a little bit.
Yay!
Just to
We're
start with.
Healing the building. We are, the two of us.
She's there she's there until she says that, and then she just like sort of squints her eyes and shakes her head and is like, no.
Ava, it counts. Every little piece that we can make more whole counts.
No, she would agree. So she is helping Araya with making some, helping to hold things and put things a little bit back together. And she does that for about an hour or so. And during the meantime, as Esmond is working, whenever he sets down a tool or something, pen, whatever he's sketching out, whatever he's working on, each time he goes to sort of reach his hand back to where it was, it's been moved just about 6 inches away. You don't see anyone do anything. It just sort of seems to just be out of reach every single time you sort of reach back to that. And she occasionally giggles to herself when from doing this. After a little bit of an hour or so after she's helped Araya, she's going to start, like she has this sort of like thought, and she nods to Araya, asks if she has it, and Araya's probably like, yeah, that's fine. And then she starts to head back towards where Sal and Shalati and Peach are, where the dinosaur is, to ask them about an idea.
Ava, well, you're kind of there in the workshop. Are you wearing your full face mask?
If it's inside, if it's relatively quiet.
It's not quiet.
Then yes, probably has the face mask on a little bit. And yeah, after a little bit, the hammering and stuff, she just sort of, you can't really see the expression of her face, obviously, under the hat, but you can tell she's just sort of like occasionally putting her fist to her head or her temple occasionally, like she's got a headache that's coming on. And so after a little bit of time, she excuses herself, just needing to get air. So she'll be making her way back towards the wherever the puppy mill is. I just wanted that recorded. Making her way back towards the where the Aranakis is being held.
Well, before you've left,
Yeah, the master. Okay.
While you're still there, there's you catch a little bit of movement out of the corner of your eye, and a hummingbird lands on the face mask, the front of it, where the little breathing holes are. You see, sticks its little nose in.
She sort of like tilts her head just a little bit, and then sort of very gently tries to brush at it just with a finger.
Where am I?
Not a great skill.
Yeah, not too bad. You get one little stroke in. What does Zephyrus feel like, husband?
Really sleek. Really. He feels really sleek. Very smooth to the touch. But he'll, if you pet him and go to scratch like just around the ears or under the chin, he like fluffs up and gets especially soft, and you're able to, and your finger kind of sinks in a bit further to get to the skin underneath the feathers.
She coos to him just a second before he flies off. She's and then she sort of smiles to herself, and then the headache gets to be just a little bit too much, and she decides it's about time she get outside where it's a little quieter.
All right. Before too long, Ava's gone. Who's next?
We're just doing the vignettes, yeah.
Yeah, just vignettes of what you're doing in those hours while Kabeth is working on the muzzle.
Yeah, Casey probably left the workshop and is headed back to his childhood home that is now surrounded by an ever-growing series of obstacles and challenges that may or may not make sense upon first glance. And as he's practicing in one section, he's talking what seems like to himself, but most, there's got to be a way to open a portal. I mean, it didn't just appear there on its own. There's got to be a way to open it, and there's got to be a way to close it. We just have to figure out how. And he picks up a bit of dirt in his hand and kind of rubs it between both, and makes a motion with his hands and speaks low under his breath as the dirt swirls up and flies into a kind of circular pattern before shaking and falling to the ground with the dust flying up. He's like, nah, it didn't seem like it was made of that. Maybe something else. And he runs over to another section that's filled with water with a long gap between it, about 40 feet. And he looks to the water, kind of grimaces a little bit. Give it a try. And he does a hand motion again, this time slightly different with another word. And the water starts to pick up in front of him. That's what Casey's doing.
Who's next?
Stop. Esmond is in the workshop, slowly losing his mind until Ava leaves, and suddenly he's not losing his mind quite as seriously anymore. But he's jumping from project to project to project over the course of however many hours it is, drafting emergency blueprints in case Salinger becomes seriously harmed, working on formulas for the project that destroyed his wall in the first place, and working with Araya to help to close the wall with some 2x4s and spare wood lying around, because he's not going to let somebody do that in his house and not assist.
She welcomes the help, but hammers your thumb by accident at one point. Belting 0 points. She heals it for you afterwards, though.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
Oh, I'm so sorry! No, I mean, here!
No, it's okay. Here, it's fine. It's fine.
It feels better.
It feels so good. Hey, by the way, you are measuring twice before you cut the wood, right?
Measuring?
Okay.
No, I was just using the table.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Hey.
It kind of fits. I mean, we were holding it up.
No,
and then...
it fits. If it's great. It's fits so good.
No, but I mean, if you
No. Let's do this. It's gonna take a little bit of time, but I'll show you kind of a quick method to do some measurements, and then everything usually fits better and more easily, and should hopefully reduce the amount of time it takes for us to seal this, right?
So it takes less time if you measure.
Typically, or it just reduces the amount of work that you have to do in the future, should things not fit perfectly and things become loose or start to fall apart due to not being measured in the first place.
I was just thinking you'd put a curtain, and then it's good.
It's a 3-foot hole in my wall. I think it might need more than a curtain.
Well, you have like a 2-foot window over here, so I mean...
That's a window.
I measured
not a hole. Yeah, okay. Okay, let's step
measure.
Over.
Okay, yep.
Let's measure. Yeah.
Yes. No, you're the boss.
Okay.
At some point, you notice that somehow, like a plate of dessert with 2 forks has appeared sort of at the edge of the workshop, and you see a little bit of movement down near the bottom of the door, and you see a little goblin foot vanish through the door. So that's closed. All right, who's next? Is there anyone left? There might not be anyone left. Right. Kabeth, give us the final touches on the muzzle.
Sorry, I was sitting on the floor. Kabeth has shaped all the pieces and is putting the final rivets in now. She's slotting in the pieces and tapping the ends. And she puts down on her workbench and she stands back and she's like, I think I'm getting good at this. Yeah. I think I'm good at this.
And you look over and you see that at that point, Yev's just drenched in sweat. The embers are glowing in the forge, and he's just glistening. His muscles are red. You're getting very good at it.
You think Ez will think it's good? He's gonna think it's good, right? I hope he thinks it's good. Oh God. Well, I guess we'll wait first. Before I take it over, she hands it to him. She says, "Okay, try to rip it apart with your hands. Go."
What? Oh, you want me to do it?
Yeah, and then I'll try.
Okay. Stops pump the bellows, and you he takes it and roll blacksmith.
How the fuck do I roll blacksmith, Chris?
Tools
Blacksmith
on your sheet.
tools.
Okay, did I actually set it up to do a thing is the question, though? Like, I put it on my sheet, and I made it.
If it's over in the proficiencies section, it should be listed there.
And-
if it's not there...
And then I gave it the strength attribute.
Yeah.
Is that right?
I don't think tool being strength makes sense. Let's make it intelligence.
Well, then ignore that 11.
Oh, you can roll with advantage. You had plenty of time. Ah,
13.
13's better. Yeah, you have... I can't do it. It's too good. Maybe Cypher should try it.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have everybody try it before we put it on the creature. Last thing we need is for everybody to, I'd rather it break in somebody's hands than the creature escaping, Wait, give it to me. I'm going to try. She tries to rip it apart.
Very wise. Toss it to you. Yeah, roll strength. You can roll athletics, actually. Ooh.
The one time I don't want to roll well.
Yeah, you start to pull as hard as you can. You realize it starts to bend a little bit. You're like, ooh, maybe I could.
Okay. Let me. This isn't done. And yet she gets back to strengthening it a bit before she's. She works for a few minutes. And she's like, okay. I think this is better. Yeah. Like, let's bring it over. I am confident that this time it's fine. I'm just really strong. That's all it is. I'm really strong.
And an Aranakis isn't strong.
I mean, yeah. Here. You do it. She hands it to Sif.
Cyfred pushes up her sleeves. And she gets on the ground and wedges her feet between the slats, and then hooks her arms through the top part and tries to wrench it apart.
Ooh, that's a really good technique. You can have advantage.
Is it strength or athletics?
Athletics is always based on strength.
Oh, okay, yes. It doesn't matter anyway.
Well, I should say, on your sheet, it's always based on strength.
You should have just said your choice.
Perfect. Yeah, ooh, that's pretty good. She must have reinforced it well.
Cyfred shrugs as she gets up and dusts herself off. It's like, I don't know. I mean, I can't do it, so.
Cool. All right. Let's bring it over.
Good idea. Wait, we have to. Well, let's take it down to Asmund real quick and have him take a look just in case. And then we can. Yeah, it's almost in the way.
Yeah, in that case, you should stay here and continue pumping the bells. Make sure it stays really hot just in case I need to do some more work.
Well, I could do that, but they asked me to do it, so I don't want to get in trouble. But I'll come back afterwards and I'll pump the bellows for a long time.
Sounds great. Thanks.
I'll pump them twice as fast.
That's not it. That's not how it. It's fine. We'll go over
You
technique
can
later.
explain it all to me. It'll be fun. Okay, let's go. There's knocking on the boards that are nailed over the window. Open that.
There's a door. There's a door on the side of the home, where you can enter.
Why is it locked now?
I go and unlock my door. I don't think it was locked before.
No. He's up the boards you guys nailed over the hole. Can I unlock it? I need to show you the muzzles.
Yep. There's a door. There's a door 10 feet from you, just around the corner, bud. Just
Okay. So like, I think we've I forgot to mention this for a while, but I really liked it. So like all the doors sort of in Shepherd's End, there's like a big round door and then a smaller round door inside that and then a smaller round door at the bottom of that for like the different size creatures. Yeah, so the big one swings open. You have steps in. I pushed the bellows and then Kibeth did everything. But me and Cypher, we tried to break it, and here it is.
Gave it my best work, and then we checked it, and then I gave it some more work, and so now you should check it and see if it's gonna work.
Yeah, try to break it, but like an Ornocus would break it. Use your head.
You can use your hands. You can use your hands. It's fine. Just use your hands. Don't put it on your face. That's weird.
Man, you got that thing done in no time. That was only a handful of hours. Did the blueprints make sense?
I mean, did I look at it? Does it look like the thing you drew? I've gotten pretty. You should come by the forge and see me work. I do a good job now.
We weren't sure, so we brought it to you so you could look at it and see if it's the same as your drawing. Your drawings were upside down, but I turned them over for Kibeth.
They weren't. They were fine. Your drawings are great. Ignore him.
It's fine. DM, how does the how does the muzzle look?
I think based on her role, it looks great.
I mean, yeah, it has the appropriate shape to fit the snout. Looks a little warped here, but did you reinforce that? What happened with that?
Yeah, I mean, so we all tested it, and I was able to bend it, but it's fine. I reinforced it some more just in case.
The Ornecus might be a blacksmith too.
Esmond is not strong enough to do anything ever, so he is going to take the muzzle and clamp it onto a table vise on one of his workbenches and bring one of the automatons over and instruct it to tug on it, and we'll see how well it holds.
Hold on. So, yeah. So which automaton's in your workshop right now?
I think I said Gray last session, but let's say Quincy's here.
Okay. Yeah. So Quincy kind of stands up and turns around for a second. You see that there's like something. Someone wrote something on his back. Clean me, something like that. I don't know. It's hard to tell. Yeah, he clumps over your way. You've been working to improve the navigation on the automatons, right?
Yes. Yeah. One of the projects over the 6-month time skip was to readjust the internal compasses to the new north.
Okay, I'd like you to make a couple of rolls for me, please. First one, roll nature.
Sorry, nature?
Or survival. That's an 11. Please roll tinkering tools. Ooh, 13. Okay. Please roll Arcana. Ooh, okay. So, you have managed to make some alterations to the compass system on the automatons. What you've come to realize is that what the compasses are reading for as north changes throughout the course of the day, but you don't know why. You have, however, been able to roughly get an estimate for that direction, and it stays sort of within the same margin. Like, it keeps kind of pointing north by northeast, but it shifts. And you've managed to figure out a system. You don't know why this is happening, but you're able to predict pretty accurately when it'll happen based on just patterns. And so you've been able to build a clockwork system into the navigation that adjusts for that. So the automaton should have a lot better time navigating now.
Hell yeah.
So Quincy clomps over. Both arms stick out. He wobbles a little bit. Grabs on. Starts to pull. His arm comes off. Stumbles, knocks over a bunch of stuff off your desk. But just gears and tools go clattering all over the ground. He tries to pick them up, but as he bends over, he hits something else and knocks another table over. Stuff just pours out all over the workshop. And he seems to pause for a while. And then Quincy, grabs his own arm off the ground and straightens back up and looks at it. Looks at you. That's a natural 1 on the die.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right, buddy. So I guess that needs to be reinforced. Okay. Unit Q-1NCY, please return back to the corner and enter stasis mode. We will resume maintenance later. Turns back to Gibeth. Looks like it fits. It works perfectly fine. You set to go.
Do you need help with that?
No.
She points to the corner.
No, just...
Okay. Well, if you change your mind,
I'll handle it.
you know where to find me. I mean, I'll either be in my workshop or watching an Arnakis try to escape this thing we made. One of those two places. Yeah, and let me know if you also need help with that. And she points to the hole in the wall. I'm sure I'll get a story about that later. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
We're measuring right now.
Yeah, let me know when you need help with that. Yeah, I know how to work a hammer and measure and build. Yeah. I'm sure it's fine. You're doing a great job. You're doing a great job. Yeah.
She looks uncertainly at Esmond.
You know what? I could use a break. Araya, could you use a break?
Oh, I saw that there was some dessert. Are you hungry?
Yeah, let's
dessert.
Let's take that on the road. Yeah, Beth, you can have my dish. Why don't we just go check out this Arnakis all together? Because I need to leave my workshop now.
Oh,
That sounds
that's
like a
the
good idea.
first time in a long time you've needed to leave your workshop.
I'm already scooping up the dessert.
Hey, wait.
Before too long, people are on the way to the farm. Let's pause for just 1 sec. Ali, I saw your message. Is this thing where you won't be able to come back, or you might be able to come back, or you're not sure?
No, I'll definitely be able to come back, but I have to step away and not be listening probably for
Now would be the best
15 to
time.
20.
Now would be the
Okay. I'll be back.
Before too long, everyone is on their way from the workshop heading towards the Academy Ranch. We'll say, so that this scene kind of makes sense and isn't weird, Kid Beth and Seifert are kind of together off on the side, and Yev is kind of over with Esmond and Araya. And Yev says, I had the question. I mean, I could told a little bit, but what happened earlier? When you tell me what happened when you left town.
Oh. Well, we're trying to go to my temple. And the forest. We just followed the path and ran into these Arnakuses. And then, actually, the worst part. We felt the ground shake. And everybody's like, oh gosh, it's more tremors, right? Like, you would think it's tremors,
Why didn't you
right?
feel them in town?
No, that's because it wasn't a tremor. We just ran, honestly. It was a really good idea. We had already been fighting some of the
You were
Arnak.
running so fast the ground shakes?
No, something else was running so fast the ground shook.
That is a very ominous statement.
I don't want to find out. I honestly just want to get to my temple and back.
A bunny hops up.
Yes, you can have the pretzels here, but I don't think you should watch this.
Yeah, Yev kind of glances over towards them a few times and says, what did you see?
Okay, sorry. Daughter just left.
And Yev had looked at Esmond and asked, hey, what did you see?
The inside of my workshop. I didn't go with them.
Oh, you've been working on something important. What have you been working on?
Yeah, what was it?
Yeah, tell us.
I don't want to say necessarily, because if it works,
You'll jinx it?
He keeps a lot of secrets, doesn't he, Rhea?
I don't keep a lot.
No, I
of
think it's just
secrets. No, it's not. It's not about. I mean, I guess it's kind of like jinxing it. I don't want to necessarily, but I also don't necessarily believe that you can jinx something by.
Oh, you definitely can jinx something.
Yeah,
I
I
could
think so.
maybe cast a prayer, and maybe it might help.
No, it's not a superstition, but just a sort of ritual I follow where if I feel like I have a really good idea, something that I really want to work, it's better that I don't describe what it is, so that in the future, if it doesn't work, nobody is disappointed in it.
But we wouldn't be.
I would read a little tiny bit, but don't tell him.
Yev! She kind of like pushes him.
You literally can't push him. He's like twice your size.
She still tries. She's not gonna hit him.
He pretends like he pushed him.
See, regardless, it is. If I can get it to work, it's something that will only prove advantageous to future endeavors with needing to leave the village. So,
Is it a boat? Are you making a boat?
I don't think. No, that doesn't make sense.
no, Yev, I'm not designing a boat.
Oh, that would be good, though.
I would like a large force field that surrounds me and protects me the whole way to the temple, and that way I can actually just get there.
Tell you what, I've been reading up on magic and arcana recently, so I'll see what I can come up with by tomorrow morning. How about that?
No. No rush. Your hands are full.
Everyone likes the memorial that you made with the glasses.
Yeah, it's neat. I don't know where it came from.
What? Gwen said, like, you made it. Like, she was very proud. Oh, wait, she said not to... Yeah.
She kind of elbows Yev. It is really nice.
Flushes purple and walks a little faster to get ahead of both of you.
It kind of leans over toward her and said, he has a lot of secrets. What do you think about secrets?
She sort of... I think that there are just... I don't don't know. There's a time and place for saying certain things. I don't know. I don't think it's secrets necessarily. I just think that, he's in his head, and telling us every little bit in detail is just an added step and confuses things.
That happens to me a lot of the time.
Really? But you usually say whatever's on your mind. You don't really kind of keep it inside.
Right.
Yeah, so it's a little bit like that, but except you say all of it.
Yeah, the same thing. That's
The same thing.
And on my walk. Give us a little scene. Salinger, Shalati, Peach at the Academy Ranch before the arrival of the others.
I think Peach maybe was doing a little patrol around the outside and pops back into the main building where Salinger and Shalati are and just says, all right, where did you all put that Oranaka thing? Where is it? He doesn't remember. Please help me. I remember now.
She says as she looks.
Please tell me.
She says as she looks at the pen where the Aranakas is tied up to the crossbows and also
Thank
who it
you.
looks like Red.
Thank you. In that case.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So
Thank you.
Actually, describe the building where this is being kept again. I think that'll help everyone.
So I think as a birthing barn is probably given the number of the sheep ahead, it's a relatively large-ish building, and it has a number of pens inside of it. It's made of stone on the outside, no windows, just to help keep in any temperature, maybe with like a sod interior as well. And the Aranakas, there's aisles, there's pens on either side, and the Aranakas is in one of them. That is probably, I would think it's like a fence post kind of thing because it wasn't built to hold in something ravenous, except for savagery. It's, it's fence post, 2, maybe 3 slats, and swing out gates. And the Aranakas, I believe, has been tied up to 2 of the posts that go from this floor to the ceiling. Its legs are still tied together. Its arms probably not because they're a little stubby, I assume. Unless they can be tied together, in which case that would be. And I think its muzzle is still wrapped around with rope.
Is it
wait, no.
conscious?
Did we ever change it from? We tried to pry open its jaws and then like wedged a rock inside of it. Did we move it back from that?
I think you got interrupted in that process because you realized that it was faking, and then you punched it in the face, and it responded by trying to bite you, but it was still had rope around its mouth.
I think I went unconscious again.
It did. I used the rock that we were going to put in its mouth and make it so it couldn't bite to knock it back out while you helped punch it, was what ended up happening.
Yeah. So I think with it being presumably actually unconscious, if you guys wanted to use that time to switch its kind of muzzly situation, you could do that. So you can tell me, I think you kind of have free reign to say how you've tried to tie it up at least.
Yeah, I imagine if we wanted to give it at least a little bit of freedom of motion, if we're actually trying to see, or if we're just holding on if we're trying to keep it as trussed up as possible until the muzzle comes, then it would probably still be with its feet tied together on the side, wrapped around with rope.
I think that's probably where I was thinking we were heading. Completely restrained until we have something so it can't bite.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, I think probably in that time that it was taking them to work on things, it's come back awake. You've seen it kind of struggle a few times, but it seemed to give up pretty quickly. Just there, labored breathing. You see its eyes searching you inside of the room.
Every so often, actually. Shalati will touch its tail or its flank and focus a little bit. There is a bracelet inside of her glove, and that she focuses on it, and it should give her a sense from an animal of like its most immediate surface level need. Like she's trying to decide, does it need to pee? Is it thirsty, hungry? What's going on?
Like a sim interface.
That's right. Its want to escape bar is very high.
Oh, it's fun meter.
Fun meter super low.
It's just red, glowing red.
Need to use bathroom very high.
Oh.
And this time she has also probably forked in some hay and stuff just to give it a little bit of bedding. And if it pees, then it soaks it up.
Okay.
At some point, Sal will lean over to Shalati. How smart do you think this thing is? It was playing dead, long enough to try and catch us unawares.
Oh, I suppose we would have to watch it a bit longer, but maybe as smart as a cat? Although,
Could you stop poking it, please? Every time you touch the damn thing, I think it's gonna break through those bindings and chomp your arm off.
pretty well tied up.
Yeah, I
Three of
trust your
us
rope
among-
says there are two of us. Let's be honest.
Well, moral support plus physical size and then actual expertise in handling, well, not this type of animal, but others.
Unruly patrons. This might be the rowdiest patron I've ever had.
Sure enough, but I can't flirt with the thing to make it, forget that I spilled a drink on it.
Have you tried?
Dear God. Peach kind of dissolves into anxious laughter. I really hope that thing ain't smart enough to know that we don't know what we're doing.
Well, smart and ornery sometimes go hand in hand. I'm gonna do something that might sound a little bit embarrassing. Just don't tell anybody. You know how I get along with Babs, that cat nobody else can handle. Seems to have a liking to me. Well, it clears his throat, kind of leans over and makes eye contact with the creature.
You see its lower eyelid kind of rotates up and looks at you.
And
Challenger Moral, what are you doing?
he says, I'll do what they hear in a second, but he says, if you can understand me, just tap your tail once. But it sounds like to them, pss, 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 pss.
Sorry, I'm just reading this thing real quick. Let's do this. Just so we start to learn kind of like what characters do. Tell us the ability that you're using.
Yeah, so kind of a natural furbog thing. It's called Speech of Beast and Leaf. Can basically talk to plants or animals and they understand him. It doesn't mean they can talk back to him, but he can communicate in a way that they should be able to get a read on what he's trying to ask.
Yeah, so you see the creature's eye dilate for a moment and then narrow in, serpentine on you. The tail goes up and thump, thump. Oh, there's a... Yes, no, yeah, very good.
So he says to the other two, again, you're not telling anybody I did that. Smarter than a cat.
Will you please stop touching this thing?
I ain't touching it. Just gonna ask one more thing. If you're afraid, slap your tail one time, again. Pss, 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 pss.
I like how he assumes the creature can count.
There's a slow kind of narrowing of the creature's eye a bit, like a little bit of a squint. Roll a perception check, Salinger.
Cool.
You notice, but not in time. There's a slight warm splattering on your knee and your ankle as the creature ants near your boot.
Meaner than a cat, too, says as he takes a few steps back.
There's a well outside if you need the wash off.
Wait, Sal, can you talk to the thing? What are you doing over there? Sis. Because that ain't a cat. You may say that it's just like the ornery old cat that you and I found a million years ago. But, I mean, I know when I was 14, I tamed the savage sheep. That doesn't make me some kind of animal whisperer.
As she says this, Shalati is going to kneel down by its head, outside of the pen, but she is looking the Ornox in the eye. And what Salinger has been doing has reminded, and seeing the creature's reactions, has reminded her that it does have some kind of snake-like properties, seems like. So she doesn't actually say anything to the others, but she does say something in a sibilant sort of tongue, which unless either of the two speak Abyssal, I don't think they would understand. But she says, "All right, little chicken reptile thing. I don't think you can understand me, and I'm sorry to say that I think we may actually be hurting you, but this is sort of for our own safety, and we'll try not to hurt you unnecessarily." And she is going, as she speaks soothingly in this tongue, she is going to cast Animal Friendship, which is only applies to snakes. So she is trying this out.
Okay. Interesting. Let me think about that.
If it has an intelligence of 4 or higher, nothing.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. It works on snakes. I'm trying to figure out about a feedback question. What I'm trying to figure out is, do you know if it works or not? Right. This is not a concentration spell. Okay. I'm going to say that for non-concentration, you don't get feedback if it works or not. Because that'll make concentration spells also slightly better, I guess. Yeah, you're not sure if it works. It is looking at you though.
She probably had a small morsel of turkey or something that she held out as part of the spell component. Meant it's too tied up for it to leave, and so after not seeing much of a reaction, she essays a tentative stroke down its leg.
Its eye follows your hand as you reach out. What do you have in that hand?
Does she put away the food back into her pouch? There's just nothing in it right now, although it probably still smells like the turkey.
Okay. Yeah, there's a low, almost like rumbling, a little bit like a growl. But it doesn't move or do anything. Its scales are hard, smooth. There's also, but they're lined with, there's sprouts of feather, right? So there's much more feather near like the chest and the head, and then there's like less as it goes down its body. But the kind of at the leg, there's like little bristles of hair. feathers, or yeah, like fur and feather and stuff.
Does it look like an annoyed rumble or a pleased rumble?
Roll animal handling.
$22.
Annoyed.
She sits back and says, well, we're worth a try.
You knock at the door. It's Ava.
Alashka.
As Sal's going over to answer it, he's going to say something to Peach. I'm not an animal whisperer. It's just like, you know, you can hear a little bit better than me and you can see in the dark and I can't. It's like that sort of thing. It just comes natural.
I mean, but it's a cat, and then a thing that I've seen that cat. It will not kill you, Salinger. This thing could bite you to pieces.
Oh, hey, Abel.
She sort of has the mask on, sort of nods, and looks around at the creature and at everybody, and she says, "I dropped off the blueprints. I think it'll be a couple hours more before, I didn't drop off the blueprints. I told Esmond, he drafted them, and then they were going to be delivered, and then they're going to be brought back here. So we have some time." And she's sort of looking at the creature as it's laying tied up on the ground. Did you beat it up more?
No, but they've been poking at it, Ava. Like,
Well,
in like nice ways, but thank God somebody with senses here.
You can see it has a rock in its mouth now.
You put a rock in its mouth, and it looks like someone smashed its head in.
no, the head's not smashed all the way in. It tried to attack us. It was playing possum.
It's probably concussed now. Well, anyway, like I said, it'll be some time before we get the muzzle, but I know you wanted to learn some different things for it, and I just was thinking while we were trying to help Esmond.
Wait, sorry. I don't mean to interrupt, Ava. Can this thing hear us and understand us? Shlati and Sal, should we maybe take this conversation outside if we're talking about how to control it?
I pretty
Like, how smart do we figure?
I don't really know how smart it is. I'm pretty sure it can hear us.
Yeah, she's looking at Shalati, asking that. How smart do we figure? I mean, a cat can know when we're calling its name, right?
If it's smarter than the cat, then maybe it's smarter as a hog, but the hog doesn't know how to speak.
Sorry about that. I'm nervous because we found the thing is not as dumb as we thought. Go ahead, Ava. Sorry for interrupting.
It's okay. I mean, a lot of animals pretend to be asleep. Like possums pretend that they're like asleep all the time and like pretend they're dead and things like that. So it's just doesn't necessarily mean it's smart. But Sal, I liked your idea of trying to learn stuff from it, and I've been working on some things that I'm really close to making a breakthrough on, and I guess for me to figure them out, I might need to practice. So I was thinking you should try to fight it.
Where are you guys having this conversation?
Inside the barn or wherever the place is.
Okay, so you're all in there talking. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Me fight it.
Well,
yes. Why does he get to fight it?
Well, I mean, I guess you
Wait, what are we talking get to fight it?
Well, I just figured that, like, she looks around the room. She's like, well, this is kind of in a controlled space, and so we know we're going to have to fight more of them, and so I thought you could get practice and learn something about how it fights and things like that, and do it in a safe place, and when we're done, we can get the butcher, and we can do an autopsy, and we can have some food, and I can learn about some of its internal workings and figure out potentially like weak spots or places that it's really strong, and figure out other things like if it's venomous or other things like that.
Well, it would be beneficial to actually fight against something that's trying to hurt or kill us. And it did piss on my shoes.
Oh my gosh.
No. And there are plenty of those things out there, and this one at least is less dangerous. I know we gotta practice. I'm just nervous for y'all.
They'll be fine. I can totally patch them up. They'll be fine.
One at a time, then the rest of us can be waiting outside. If all 6 of us manage to take out 2 of them without any of us really getting significantly hurt. 1 versus 1 might be tougher, but the rest of us gathering around and ready to jump in should be good.
Yeah, and we can like have people inside too, like just standing at the ready, and if things start getting out of control, then we help, and that way, one person sort of tries to focus on it, and then we just take turns, and we just learn that way. I think it'd be good, and I can, if you do get hurt, and I'm not saying I want you to get hurt, but like if you do get hurt, then I can practice as well some of the things I'm working on. She looks a little too excited about this.
Yeah, maybe it's the mask that's peppering the way I'm taking this, but it sounds a little sadistic.
I mean, like, not towards you. I don't want you to get hurt. Like, that's not...
No, I'm being too subtle. Can you take the mask off? It's freaking me out a little bit.
She goes, sure. And the mask sort of, probably disquietingly, just sort of, like, pulls back from her face without using her hands and hangs off the back.
The creature's eye flicks to Ava's face.
Are there bird people in this universe the way that there are like heronins and other like animal folks? Like, would we be like, why are you wearing owl face?
Why are you wearing the face of my friend?
Like Patrick, like, what are you doing, Ava? That's so offensive.
Just please say no, so that doesn't have to be an issue.
But there are animals, like there are rabbits in addition to Harengan.
Yeah, I don't.
True.
Well, I should say there are bird people, but I don't. I think that.
Yeah, Chris. This has just become really awkward.
I think that the
I love this wrench I found.
Chris.
Just the many layers that I had to go through mentally really quick.
Ava, cancelled.
Wow, human and racist at that. Man.
She's trying to get in good with the verdict.
Yeah, you're perfect for the verdict. Order the verdicts.
I'll let you guys handle that as you want.
No, Chris, don't do this to me.
In this case, Pete
Oh my God.
he takes off the mask. Ava takes off the mask. And Pete goes, yeah, Ava, I don't know if that's a great look. I mean, your own face is much cuter, and it's much easier to hear you talk.
We're just gonna have to reflavor this. When doing a plague mask, didn't have to consider that it might be emulating a sentient live race of people. That was not part of the calculus.
We'll do this then. This kind of thing is not uncommon. Sometimes animals wear people
fine.
masks.
It's fine. One of my
fine.
best friends.
That's terrifying.
I considered the circlet of human perfection really hard.
Oh my god.
Is there a mask shop in town?
Trick-or-treating is so different in this universe. And what are you? I'm a human. Ooh, scary.
Humans are the most terrifying creature of all.
Just human baby masks. That's all they've got.
God.
That's offensive. My dad was probably human.
All right, so we'll have to figure out what to do with this mask. I'm gonna have to table that for right now, I think.
No, we'll legitimately say, culturally, it's fine. It's a thing.
Alright. The mask slides back from her face, and she sort of like squints and rubs her eyes a little bit and blinks and looks around, as you would if crawling out of a very dark space and stepping into one that's really bright. She sort of looks around for a second and makes eye contact and sort of smiles up, pushing the hair out of her face, and looks at Sal. It's like, better?
Yeah, that way I can read your expression to go with the words you're saying, because that's just necessary, I think, with this conversation.
And
Sorry.
we can see your cute little face, Ava. You're always hiding.
Well, it's just we were doing some work on Esmond's shop, and there's a lot of noise, and so it helps with my head sometimes.
Don't worry about that if it gets too loud. And I think Charlotte has actually started to pitch her voice a little bit lower.
She sort of like gives the smallest of nods that shows an appreciation for understanding what she's doing. And she says to Sal, so, yeah, I know it's somewhat dangerous. It's just a controlled environment, and I just think we can try to learn some stuff from it. And then when we're done, we can just learn a little bit more, and then we'll be prepared a little bit better prepared, maybe, to know what we're gonna be up against before we head out and make our way to the temple, which hopefully we'll do in a couple days or so, or as soon as possible. And I know Esmond's probably super excited to see that portal. Just weird to say.
Yeah, portal or tear or whatever we want to call it. And you're right, like, we can't just keep it. We don't have enough food for all of us.
And we can't let it go. Those nails won't even stay blunt forever.
Well, yeah, that was the only other thing that I could think to do, which is also kind of dangerous, which is just trying to figure out a way that we could use it to track it and have it make obvious tracks of some kind or something, and then it would go back to the others, and but we already kind of know the direction they're in, and I don't think we want to go all the way to the nest or the whatever it's called.
Well, at some point we do. The whole point is for us to wipe it out so that it's a bit safer.
Oh yeah, but like that really big one that made the ground shake, I thought, like, we don't want to get too close to that without the verdict, right?
True. We don't know if they stay in the same place. So.
Oh, I guess that's true.
I thought it was wipe it out and learn how to avoid them. I don't know if we could... If there's a rip that stuff's coming through it, who knows how many, or if we can even close the thing.
I don't know. But, I mean, I'll do whatever you guys want, but I just thought if we do that, then we can all practice. And, yeah, it's not supposed to be sadistic, it's just that I'm really close to figuring something out, and it'll make it so much easier for me to, like, help people if you get hurt where it really counts, like, out there.
Lotta's gonna look around at the inside of this barn and says, this is... Well, it's not the best for this. It's a good place to keep it penned up, but not to fight it. Each pen isn't very big. But I think we have maybe the shearing? Well, all the shearing happens outside. And she's trying to think of if they're not really a ranch in the same way, so I don't know if they have like a rodeo bar ring. Just a big circular ring inside a barn.
Oh, probably not inside a barn, but you probably have an outdoor area that has that.
Right. I mean, if we spend some time taking out some of these pens, but she looks, we can maybe turn this into something that's a bit more secure, but we can still see that it's fighting. But she looks kind of reluctant at this, like, dismantling of a place that she's called home for a bit.
Well, we do have that one pit where we blocked off the entrance to the rest of the ruins. It's a big old hole in the ground.
It's like an hour away.
Why is that far?
It depends who you are. Beth could make it in 15 minutes.
us dragging a dragging an Arundhacus? Eh.
Yeah, fair enough.
And we'll say through the door on cresting the hill, nearest approaching, you see the others.
Oh, yeah, Shalati, I think your brother's coming too.
Why?
He's... I don't remember.
I don't know. She pokes her head outside the barn to see the others coming.
Yeah, you see the group of them approaching. You see Araya, Esmond, Kabeth, and Seifred. You see that Yev's fallen back a little bit. Another figure seems to have caught up with the group. Yev kind of looks over to Casey and says, "What happened next?"
And there we were. Hours from town, just us in the wild, with only our wits and wiles at our disposal, hunting the fearsome Arnakai and the dreadful broodmother that terrorized these lands, when suddenly we were surrounded. Back, foul beast! I fire a shot into the trees that explodes with a bang. And go figure. Fireworks. They scatter like chickens set upon by a fox. Not fearsome, fearful. With all clear, we continue our trek, creeping ever closer to the den of the gigantic monster. Knowing full well her treacherous flock stalks us at every turn. And stalk they do. For a short span. And then suddenly, a pair foolishly eyes their chances, thinks well of it, and strikes. But we were ready for them, and it happens fast, in a flurry of steel, fire, and flash. Even Peach springs into action, berating the creatures with a, "If y'all don't straighten up, I'm gonna ship you right out." The distraction works just long enough for Sal to swoop in and relieve the smaller Arnakis of its consciousness. But the larger one still stands, ferociously swiping and clawing at anyone that comes near. But through the dust and claw, the openings are there, and we take full advantage. The others dart in between slashes and strike, putting the monster on its heels, until finally I see my opportunity. Fire and fury will surely haunt the dreams of the other 6 that fled into the trees that day. Yev, you should have been there.
I should have been there. Next time you have to let me go. Come on, Casey. Everyone getting some inspiration.
Can Charlotte hear this last little bit, or Yev being, I should have been there?
Yeah, maybe catch the
And Charlotte just calls out, absolutely not.
Casey is turning, kind of walking backwards into the room and just kind of grinning at Yev, still having the fireball in his hand, and shrugs a little.
Everyone who wants to be in the scene has arrived.
I said Sal should fight it.
Yeah.
I didn't disagree.
We just need to figure out like a safe space so that we can let it loose and yet not have it escape.
Wait, you're gonna fight it? I thought we were just gonna muzzle it so it couldn't hurt anybody, but you're gonna fight it again.
We need proper training against an opponent that actually wants to do us harm.
Okay. I'll be there with my hammer if you need me.
Does seem like the best place for that if the rest of you want to help me take down these pens in between. Maybe we can make a bigger pen in the middle of this barn.
Is the floor loose dirt?
I think it would be, and hay and stuff like that. Yeah.
Ah, she looks over at Casey. Could make a pit.
Yeah, no problem.
I'm actually kind of excited.
I guess that trick that you showed, it would be very helpful for getting the posts and the pins out.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah, I'm all for a spar to learn more about the creature. But I'm not for cruelty.
No, I mean, just so that we're better prepared. We have to. I mean, they're going to be pretty cruel to us, I think, when we go back out there. They were cruel to you guys before. And she looks at the old injuries that Shalati had.
I mean, they're animals, though, Ava. Like, I
They weren't trying
didn't.
to eat us. They weren't trying to be cruel.
Yeah, I didn't, say nothing about the blue laurel chicken that scratched me near death that once.
Besides, Casey has started working the dirt. Scars are rather becoming. And he lifts up a pile of dirt and starts to move it.
Ava will help you move the dirt.
Do you go in the same direction?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, she's gonna work with Casey, not try to undo the work he's doing.
Salate is going to pick up the beams and the pieces of fence posts that are getting thrown around by the dirt. And presumably some of it gets carried along, but she's stacking it off to the side and lending a hand where needed.
So, if I understand correctly, you guys are sort of clearing all the pins and everything out of the way to just make as big an open space as you just generally can, with the creature kind of pinned in the center, right, with the post and the ropes and everything. Okay, sounds good. Let's take just a 5-minute break. I need to powder my nose. And then...
Dino fight!
Well, on that note, punching dinosaurs.
Yes!
I can't believe we're doing this.
We're children that don't know how to defend ourselves, and we're venturing out into the wilds. We have to do this. Old children. Young adults.
Also, I'm imagining Arnakis as being human-sized. Are they bigger than that?
This was one of the juveniles, right? So it's probably 4 feet long, something like that.
Y'all, we're bringing up babies.
I was picturing a Velociraptor Jurassic Park.
Very similar, but imagine a Velociraptor from Jurassic Park, but with teal feathers and fur that that are prominent near the front of the body, and then kind of reduce down the length of the body. And at night, they bioluminesce.
Oh, pretty.
But Velociraptors are very good read. Yeah.
Okay, so me proportion to the face could eat my whole head.
Well, this one's a juvenile, so it would take a couple of bites.
You are going to punch a baby.
Hell yeah.
He's already punched baby punch.
Oh, that's true. Pre-punched baby getting more punched.
If it makes you...
is going to go and bar. I imagine there's 2 doors to this. It's a door and then a passageway and then a door at the end. And she's going to bar one of the doors from the outside. The other one, put some other lock. I guess close it. Maybe a latch from the inside. Just try and make it as secure as possible.
Is there a hayloft up and above? Can I have stadium seating?
Yes.
I want to sit up there. I want to sit there.
Sit in the hayloft, please.
Popcorn.
I guess it depends how high the ceiling is.
I mean, you tell me. I was picturing a barn.
I don't see why not. It seems like a convenient use of space. Or at least rafters.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I'm sitting on a rafter.
Peach is also on either side of the, either side of the room. Right?
But,
kind of up center. So, yeah.
Yeah. But she is, legit clinging to the, big rafter beam. She's still a namby-pamby. Please trust me.
Oh, girl. Peach is
Cypher-
sitting pretty confidently on the beam.
Yeah, your balance is good.
Cypher naturally is also part of the rafters crowd, and she's sort of like perched, like Batman style, if you will, almost seemingly precarious, a little bit daring.
Asmund
for
is... Go ahead.
Sorry, go on.
I was just going to say Asmund is also part of Team Rafters, but he would be positioned in a place where he has the most optimal view of the entire arena. For he wants the best view for emergencies.
And you see, with all the activity of all the new people in the room, this creature has like lifted its head. And if I maybe try, can it lift its head? How do you guys? I assume it can. But you guys have rock in its mouth, rope around, right? And then its hind legs are together, and its forelegs are together. Okay.
Are
In
we
the
not muzzling it at all?
You haven't yet.
But the mouth's tied shut with rope.
With rope, and there's a rock in its mouth.
Yes.
In the time that everybody has been getting like set up, Kebeth has already run back to her workshop, gotten her armor, and come back fully geared up with her hammer.
Okay, sure. You're fast.
Ava will be positioned sort of not up in the rafters, but more like at the edge of the pit, with like her little satchel and bag at the ready, still looking a little bit excited and a little bit giddy. The mask will be off while she's watching. And Sal, if it makes you feel any better, before we get started, she can find a human baby mask that you can put on the dinosaur so you don't feel as bad trying to fight it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you see Yev trying to crawl up into the rafters. He tries a couple of times, kind of dangles, his legs are kicking. Then he drops back down and kind of stretches and leans against the wall.
Yev, you're too big. The
That's a
rafters
rude
will
thing
fall
to say.
down.
You know what to say. Goliath's on the ground. What's it saying?
Yes, you should probably stand by the door and make sure that you will be our defense if it suddenly bolts for it. And she's actually gonna stand on the other side of the door so that they're basically sort of forming these two slightly offset layers.
Oh, that's a good idea. Okay. What have you guys... Oh, yeah. What have you... I don't think I've asked. What have you armed Yev with? Because I know you guys were giving him equipment.
That was somebody else's
Did we
job.
actually finish that thing?
Yeah, we successfully did the minimum, so whatever the minimum amount is, we have a little bit of funds above that, so if you want to tweak a couple of weapons at some point for the adults or for Yev or someone specific, we have some additional cushion to play with. We have,
Ev's probably not wearing... Like, if you guys give Yev heavy armor, he's not wearing it right now, because that's a pain. But he would have the weapon, like, probably all times.
No one has heavy armor. We couldn't afford anything besides, like, the barest of armor. It's like all leather and studded leather type stuff.
Okay, he would probably wearing that, yeah. Usually.
I think I'm wearing heavy armor though.
Yeah, so yeah, you ran back and you got armored up, and you're probably putting it on the way, hopping around, putting your greaves on.
Casey is standing behind Sal, rubbing his shoulders in his corner. It's like, so we need to dodge it first. Kind of watch how he moves, how he strikes. We need to see their tactics, how they fight on their own.
Yeah, and you see the creature, with all of you in the room, this creature's lifted its head, and you see its eyes are kind of darting to each of you.
I'm doing this thing towards it.
And if it gets out of hand, just put it down. There's no glory in cruelty.
Well, yeah, obviously, but dodging's not exactly my specialty. I was thinking I'd just, I don't know, block it.
Well, should you have like a word to say to have us jump in and sort of help? Like, the difference between, oh, I need some help, and oh, please kill this thing right away because I'm scared?
Yeah, those are good words. Use those.
What about help versus kill?
I like both of those answers. You can decide which ones you like. So,
I think you'll know exactly when things get out of hand. None of y'all gonna need to worry about that.
One of the bunnies hops in the room and hops up the rafters and gets on Araya's lap.
The doors were
Nope.
locked on both ends.
There's
They burrow, right?
I think Charlotte has actually stuck the glaive next to the far door, and then she's standing on the near door, next to Niryev with her shield and that.
little bunny squirms through like one of the things on the ceiling and hops over.
Yeah,
Chris,
stole my
I'm
cookies and
curious.
hops away.
I guess the question is... Oh, no, go ahead.
I did not hear what Cypher said.
I asked if you're being serious.
It was.
So there are actually some just random bunnies or ciphered siblings?
Like a Cypher sibling, but they ran away. No, they're away.
Chris, there's absolutely no way it'll change a dramatic amount of my action if Cyphered's younger siblings are running around where there's a velociraptor.
It's so bad that
Is that-
Winfred ushers them away, being like, "This is too dangerous. We're leaving now."
Suddenly they're all here.
It's fine. I don't have to be there.
all right, so in terms of out of character, we have a bit of a pit dug. The room is pretty much stone, and it has like a wall around. It has 2 doors. They've been sealed off, and we have a couple of people standing at each door. Is that about right? So is there really any other thing we could think of, like, oh, this thing could just run through like the Kool-Aid Man? You know, anything like that?
It has a burrowing speed.
How you guys do that is up to you, but we have 2 doors. One, we'll say front door, back door, and you have Anne Shalatier at front door, and the glaive is at the back door. Is anyone
Which
actually
has been barred from the outside as well.
barred? From
I can stand by that door.
Yeah, makes sense.
And I think the near door was latched on the inside.
Should we tell the verdict so that if it gets out, he can just like shoot it, just as like a backup? No? Okay, let's start.
Yeah, I just don't know if we need to bother the verdict with every little thing that we're doing.
Especially the bad ideas.
This is a good idea.
She
It's not
throws
bad.
shade.
It's a learning experience.
You're gonna learn that it hurts.
Yeah,
He
and when
already
we're
knows
out there,
that, Araya.
It's going to hurt a whole lot worse if we're out in the wild and there's nothing we can do about it. Ava, if it rips anything off, you'll fix it.
Uh-huh.
Charlotte's kneeling has stepped forward, left her shield and the net behind for a moment, and she's kneeling by the Arnaucus to remove some of the bindings one by one.
Before she... Alright, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, totally.
I think she is probably going to leave the mouth and the legs for last, but the ones that are tying it.
Yeah. So well let's play through the scene because as you approach it, its eyes, it had been darting around the room, and it flicks its eyes and they focus onto you as you start to move closer.
I was gonna say, as you move closer to the dino, Esmond is actually being called down to you, Shalati. If you don't want to do that, I have means of letting it loose that doesn't endanger anybody. And he holds his wand out and kind of flicks it, and an ethereal bluish hand starts to float above it.
Right. You and Ava can pull these 2 ropes at the same time. And she's going to point at the one around the muzzle and the one around the legs. And she says, I'll untie the rest of it. And then when Sal is ready, when Salinger is ready, then you can pull those 2 and they should be able to free itself.
Okay.
Just be sure to move away quickly. Yeah.
She nods, and she's going to undo the ropes that are attaching it to the posts and the ropes around the little forelimbs. And then she'll point out the specific loop on the knots that they can just pull to unravel the bindings around the muzzle and the legs wrapping it together. And then she'll back away toward the front door again.
Casey slaps Sal on the back and says, "You've got this. Trust your play calling. You tame it, you name it." And he backs away.
So as Shalati is starting to undo the bindings, there's a low kind of growl from the creature. It seems really apprehensive about you touching it, right? You undo. Did you start with the front paws?
Probably not. I think she probably did the ones tying to the posts first.
Okay. Okay, yeah, so you unbind those and the ropes kind of go slack a bit, and the sound of growling from the creature kind of lowers a little bit, and there's like a kind of a cant of its head. Yeah, and then after that was forepaws or hind paws?
Forepaws.
Forepaws, yeah. They drop off, and you see the creature's like, it's only got like 3 digits, but they kind of move and flex and stretch its arms a little bit. And then when you start to, you undo the back. So
No, she's not undoing those. She pointed out specific loops that they could pull that the people with mage hand can pull. She's backing away after she undoes the forepaws.
Okay, sounds good. As you begin to back away, you see the creature's eyes narrow. I would like you to roll for me a dexterity saving throw. Ooh, yeah, you're fast, but this creature's a little faster. That's wrong. It slams the side of its head against the ground so that the rock gets smashed out through the other side, scraping bits of stone flying, chipping maybe part of the front of its teeth. A quick motion shakes the muzzle right off and snaps up toward you. It's going to make an attack. What is your armor class?
It's 15 currently.
Ooh, well, that will not hit. So this creature snaps up towards your throat. Describe like how you get away from it.
She sees it snapping up, and she literally just instinctively puts her hand down and, like, on the snout, just kind of like pushes it away, and then leaps back.
Yeah, you see it's immediately flailing, slapping its tail around, trying to get out of the remaining bindings. It makes a leap towards you, but the ropes kind of stop it, just shorten. The jaws like snap in the air in front of you, and it kind of gets hauled back by the ropes. You can see it turns and starts. It's starting to obviously struggle. Obviously, probably by this point, people can start to react and things like that.
Just at the from the top of the raptors, Esmond is going to stand up and he's just going to announce, "The moment I see that things start to go south, I'm putting an end to all of this. Understood?" And you see him kind of hold his hand to his wand and kind of close his eyes and hum to himself. And as he does, sparkles begin to cross out in front of him from the end of the wand, and an ethereal hand, blue hand, kind of forms into shape, and it is sent forward to undo the knots that are tying its hind legs together.
For clarity, Chris, did you say the muzzle broke?
The stone, the rock.
Okay, but the metal thing did not.
No,
okay.
They haven't applied it yet.
What do you mean we haven't applied it yet? We didn't put it on.
You haven't put that muzzle on it yet.
Kvet says, shouldn't we put the muzzle on before we let it go? That sounds like we should probably put that on before we...
Too late.
The creature snaps into one of the ropes and rips it out and severs one of the ropes.
Wait, this seems like an oversight. Because Kvet wouldn't let us... Like, Kvet would have made sure that was on. I didn't realize that we hadn't put it on.
Oh, Charlotte would have argued that if we're actually trying to practice against it, then it needs to be unmuzzled.
Yeah, I think it
That was my
depends on
understanding.
what Sal wants, probably.
Yeah, the muzzle, the idea behind it was while it's imprisoned, like if we have it restrained and nobody can, we only have one person watching it, the metal muzzle.
This is perfect then.
Fight, yeah.
Okay, so then Kvet's like, wait a second, we're not gonna muzzle this thing before... Hold on, I thought we were gonna... Wait, nobody told me that we were gonna... Oh, God.
As the blue hand is lowering, Sal's gonna start banging his staff against a shield, trying to get its attention and walking towards it.
Okay. Yeah.
Casey's backed away against one of the walls. He's leaning back against the wall. Kind of looks at ease. Just leaning against the wall there.
Yeah, this thing's flailing on the ground, like whipping its tail around like a crocodile rolling sort of on the ground, and it snapped to one of the ropes. What's everyone kind of doing? If you're doing anything, you don't have to be.
Panicking.
Yeah. It is start like getting a little bit of fear sort of settles into her. She seems like she's breathing a little bit faster sitting on the right. Her hands are kind of flexing a little bit together, and unseen, if it is still applicable, force is mimicking the same movements as Esmond's ethereal hand to undo a rope, if still applicable, or unless it's already been torn open.
There's one you could still pull.
Okay, so if Esmond is taking care of that one, she's not doing anything. But if that was the one that the blue hand was going for, then she's undoing the other one.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, that rope comes free, and the creature kind of flails out of the ropes and kind of flips over onto its feet. And as Salinger's like banging the shield, right, it kind of looks at you, and its feathers kind of frill up, and it's like backing away from you, and its tail's kind of going back and forth.
Okay. He'll lower down a little bit, continuing to bang on the shield, trying to hold eye contact with it. And then, in that speech of Beast and Leaf again, he's going to say, only way out of this is to fight me. With everybody hears the pss, pss, pss. It's kind of loud, so most people probably won't hear it.
Yeah, you see the creature's eyes dilate for a moment and then narrow in. It flicks its eyes quickly to kind of everyone in the room, and then they focus back in on Sal. And you see its toes kind of spread, and then it glances down kind of at its own feet for a moment. And then looks back at you.
Yeah, I didn't say it was a fair fight. Or you could surrender. Still walking towards the shield while whispering that.
Its tail switches back and forth. It's still backing away from you. It's kind of circling. Like as you step, it kind of steps in circles, right? So it's like keeping its distance from you, but staying fixed on you. You're the closest one to it.
Okay. As he picks up on that just a little bit, he intentionally drops his shield arm just an extra 6 inches to see what it does.
Roll perception. Or performance, your choice.
They're the exact same. I feel like performance. How about that?
Oh, yes.
Oh, I'm doing it just to Chris. That was a natural 20, so I rolled a 20.
Ooh. Yeah, we can't see it. Awesome.
No, yeah, natural 20. Well, you rolled a natural 20, right?
You fool us too.
I have it on 2GM. I forgot to do it in the whole chat so everybody could see the roll. So
Yes, yeah. Natural 20 on the die. Yeah, it takes the bait, and you'll get advantage. In fact, tell me. I'm assuming you want to see if it attacks the opening, right?
Yes, the whole goal was for me to drop my shoulder to see if it strikes when it sees that drop.
Okay, I'll give you a choice. You can choose which one you have. It has disadvantage on its attack, or you have advantage on your next attack. Your choice.
I want it to have disadvantage. The goal was for me to drop and then bring the shield up, trying to propel it backwards.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, as the opening's there, you see its eyes flick to where your shoulder's exposed, and then it leaps straight up into the air over your head and snaps, like as it passes over you, snaps down at you from above.
Whew.
What is your...
How high are the rafters?
There's a little bit of space between. You realize...
I pull my feet up immediately.
You realize, certainly in seeing this, it could easily jump into the rafters.
If you're asking the AC, it's 15.
AC is 15?
Oh, no, with the shield, it's 17, sorry.
Oh, wait, no, it rolled a 2. Sorry, yeah. Definitely misses. So you get the shield up in time, because you know what it's going to do. And the teeth scrape against your shield, and it passes over you, and it kind of twists in the air like a cat, lands on the other side.
He jumps a little bit as he brings the shield up to kind of block, and then slides back, standing back up to his full height, making eye contact again immediately. Now he's going to start mimicking its strafing a little. So the way it was circling, he's going to try and circle it. Still just holding the shield, hasn't done an attack yet.
Okay.
Did it attack with its claws or teeth?
No. Are you taking the dodge action or are you holding an action?
I'm going to hold an action if holding action means that I can attack if it gets in range.
Yes. Yeah, you could.
Cool. Yeah. So what I want to do this time is see if I can goad it and then time a swing.
Okay. Yeah, I think you see it kind of, you start stepping with it and it changes sort of the cadence of its steps a little bit. And then you see it start to lunge up high, and then it flicks its tail and uses the momentum to drive it down kind of at your ankle, like below your shield. It goes for a bite.
Oh, man.
Ooh, that's going to miss, though. So as it goes to bite, how do you fend it off?
I think this is going to be a little comical because he's not a very good fighter yet. He kind of goes, whoo, and does a little twinkle toes sort of dance, kind of hopping back up and down, and then swings the stick down once at it in that moment of opportunity.
Okay, sounds good. Make the attack. I realize I should have let you attack as it dove in, but it does actually, I don't know if it actually makes a difference. So you can take your attack here, and then you'll get another attack.
Gotcha. Let me turn off talking to myself.
And just in case it's not clear, just because it seemed like it was going to bother Cypher, like the bunnies thing didn't happen. Just work on that.
Cool. So roll a 19 to hit as he twinkles back and makes a surprise sound.
I can't see your roll for some reason.
You're still doing GM only, maybe?
I think you turned on Talk to Myself because it's automatically turned on every time you log in.
Talk to Myself. Let me just... how do I turn off talking to Jim then so everybody else
It's on your character sheet, and underneath your name there's public or 2GM, and it's in bright red. It's above inspiration on your character sheet.
Okay, I see it. Thank you.
Yay!
Done. I'll just re-roll it because I'd rather the cinematic part happen.
Okay. Ooh, cool. Sorry, I forgot what you said. What's the
I just re-rolled it. So it's as the thing strikes down, Sal jumps back a little bit, kind of dances on his tippy toes because he doesn't know how to effectively dodge attacks very well yet, and then swings the quarterstaff down at it, clearly just grazing past and missing it as some dirt and hay kicks up.
That sounds good. Yeah, the thing slides and then flips over and rolls over and is back on its feet already, but that was your held action, so now it's your turn.
All right. He's going to take a swing low at it to try and make it jump. So he's going to swing at its legs. If that means it's disadvantage or something, so be it.
you're targeting its legs, or you're...
Yeah, I'm gonna target low.
Okay. Yeah, so that'll be disadvantage.
It's a 9.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you get what you want. It does leap over the attack, but maybe a little faster than you wanted. And doesn't come quite as close because it makes a snap of its teeth out at your exposed arm. Ooh, but that's gonna miss.
Looks like it knows its claws are clipped.
Yeah, it has not made a single attempt to attack with its legs.
Yeah, it's smarter than I even figured. Played dead with us, watching for openings with me, and then I guess it's action, right?
No, that was its attack. It's your turn.
Okay. All right, I'm just gonna charge at the thing and try to shove it with the shield.
Give it a roll.
It's just a regular attack, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, 12.
Okay, yeah, you come running towards it. The creature... Salinger, roll a perception or investigation, your choice.
With perception, got a 21.
As you rush toward it, you realize that the creature has kind of put itself between you and the rear door. And so you're able to pull off the gas just a little tiny bit as it like goes low and goes for your legs. And you're kind of ready for it. It tries to trip you into the door. But fails to do so.
All right. Too damn smart. And with that, his eyes are going to go gray. He'll kind of just flex his shoulders and swing really hard. It went to a rage, so I'll get bonus to it.
Okay.
Casey's still leaning in against the wall, yells out, "Have you been taking dancing lessons, Sal?"
As Casey says that,
You guys are going to blame this on Casey too.
Mm-hmm.
Salinger, you hear Casey call out. You taking dancing lessons, Salinger? As you come in from around the maypole and you take us out of breath. Maybe take a sit down. It is the Naming Day Festival a few months ago, beginning of summer. It seemed as though everyone was anxious to dismiss the gloom of sadness that had lingered with you for so long, and maybe just for one day, it would be okay to celebrate just a bit. There are some faces filled with joy, some that wear the mask of joy, and some unable to perhaps truly participate at all. But the maypole has been risen? It's been raised. The maypole's been raised. There are tables of cider. You look across the way, Salinger, and you see Esmond. He's sitting there alone. Esmond, are you in?
Here.
There's a pop of firework. Some bunnies and satyrs drop and play. At the edge, dancing circle. It's all a bit much, perhaps, but you see a shuffle of skirts. See a familiar hemline silhouette standing right there in front of you. It's Araya. You see kind of peeking around behind her skirts on the other sides. See Gwen.
Araya has been stumbled forward from like a solid hand on the back. Hi. Happy naming day.
Hey, happy naming day. How you doing?
Would you like to do a turn around the maypole with me? Please?
I'm sorry. I'm trying to determine how Esmond would react in this scenario. This was how long ago does this take place after the events that destroyed the town, DM?
Yeah, so it's one season after that, so 3 months later. Yeah, we'll say that the mood of a lot of people in town is that they're aware of the weight of the attack that still lingers, but as the naming day began to approach, it seems as though at least some people, they want at least one day to escape the weight of what settled over the town, all the work and the labor.
Got it.
You can see behind Araya's skirts on the far side of the dancing circle. You kind of see Gwen kind of peeking just around to kind of see your face and the hopeful look on hers.
Okay. Yeah. So knowing that when you approach Esmond, he has dark circles under his eyes. He clearly has not been taking care of himself. This is one of the few times that you've seen him outside of the workshop, in fact, since in the past 3 months. So you approach and you ask him, and there's an immediate blush that kind of fades away. No, I'm okay. I just came out to get some sunlight. I'm not really in a dancing mode. Thank you. Mom?
Araya is like the smile sort of like falters and she's like more a sad look on her face. I've never gotten to before. And that's okay.
Wait, you've never danced before?
It's not encouraged, so I will be terrible at it. It's okay.
Esmond turns away, and you see him kind of furrow his brows. He just is tapping his fingers on the table that he's eating at. I mean, there are plenty of other people that could show you how to dance better than me, at least. For sure, O is definitely a much better dancer. I mean, if you were just looking for someone to show you how to dance good.
Well, is it okay? And she just like reaches towards his hand. Please, we can be terrible together, and maybe that's not as bad.
His ears turn sharp purple at that. He's like, you, yeah, okay, yes, sure. If being terrible sounds together sounds good to you, then yeah, me too, I guess. Sure.
Really?
I mean, if you really want to, yeah, I guess.
I do. She just grabs his hand before he can say no again. And, like, arms straight. I don't know how to dance this dance, but they hold both hands. And she grabs your other hand.
You see a shiny, wide-eyed look fills Gwen's face as Esmond's pulled on the dance floor. This dance, as people whirl around the maypole, it's not a complicated dance, but it involves spinning, and it involves spinning quickly. I need each of you to make a performance check.
Oh no.
All of us all?
Wait, can I do dexterity instead?
This is just Araya and Esmond.
Oh, okay. I thought you said everybody.
We see Araya spinning and spinning, and her gown flailing. You see a flash of tail for just a moment.
Casey is spinning balls of fire around him, like poi around. Can I spin by Esmond when I see him and be like, spin faster, damn it!
You can.
As I come by.
Well, the question is, does anyone...
Yeah, I'm giving him my inspiration.
Giving him an inspiration. Give it a roll.
This is killing me, the player, Kevin.
This makes it better.
Oh, ha ha ha. Esmond's spinning as fast as he can, but he catches just his heel on the other heel, and he starts to trip and fall. Who catches him?
Me. I will catch him.
Kibeth is there, and she catches you just into the next phase of the dance.
You feel her very strong arms, like, lift you up, and she's like, whoa, there, buddy, hold on. I got you, don't worry.
Araya laughs as she lets his hands go.
Kibeth grabs them instead, and she begins to take him through the next steps of the dance. Chris, what's the next part of the dance look like?
Yeah, this one involves, you have one hand far out to the left. The other hands are close together. You have to switch the position of your body back and forth as fast as you can, leaning back and forth perhaps like a teapot, as quickly as you can. Requires a tremendous amount of jumping distance. So I need each of you to make an athletics ability check.
Esmond just mumbles, kind of mumbles out loud as this is all happening. Wait, no, this was just supposed to be the one. Why am I being dragged around now?
No, dance with me. It makes me happy. Come on, you've got this. Don't give up.
You said athletics?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fuck me. Okay.
Oh, pretty good.
Oh,
That's
no.
Arcana!
That's Arcana!
Oh no!
Well, it's still a 13 rolled, right?
So that's a 13, so that would be a 12 then.
Well, let's
we
keep
wanna
the
keep that
Arcana
roll.
roll, but roll the athletics too.
Yeah.
Perfect. So you see Esmond kind of catches his heel, but for some reason, it doesn't make any sense. He just kind of floats through the air farther than he should, along with Kibeth into the jump.
See, I knew you could do it. And she's laughing and having fun. Her face is bright red from the effort of it.
Esmond, with that 18 on Arcana roll, as you guys spin out of that phase of the dance, you feel yourself drifting towards Ava. Something weird's happening.
She, as you trade off towards her, she's sort of standing there awkwardly clapping, and she says, "Sorry, they made me, I think," and she giggles and takes up the next part of the dance, which hopefully is freestyle.
Have fun, you two. And Kibeth steps out and hands Esmond's hand to Ava.
Yeah.
This phase of the dance is the pure freestyle part. You can roll, each of you can roll performance, athletics, or acrobatics, your choice.
All bad choices. Excellent. Acrobatics, athletics, or performance?
Mm-hmm.
I'm imagining middle school dancing. It's perfect between them. They're so awkward together.
Oh yeah, it's terrible.
That's a 14 for Esmond. Pretty good.
5
5 for Doc. As the two of you break into your freestyles, you see that Esmond, you see that Ava gets one of her shoes caught in one of the pole lines. She's gonna trip. What do you do?
I try to catch her and prevent her from falling.
Yeah, there's a slip and she falls into your arms. There's an opportunity to dip her.
She looks terrified.
Esmond will dip her, but purely by accident because he's trying to maintain his balance and keep her from falling.
Uh-huh. It's an accident, but it looks perfect as a perfect, graceful dip. Swings Ava down towards the ground and then pulls her up with springy intensity.
She's laughing. She's her one hand covering her face. She's just as awkward and feeling terrible about it and trying to still freestyle dance alongside you. Her face is a bright red.
It goes perfectly. As the moment separates the two of you and goes to the next phase of the dance, who is there waiting for Esmond? Seifert.
Seifert will take Esmond's hand gracefully. She's been dancing the night away with all of the grace and ferocity of any good fey creature. On into the next part of the dance.
All right, the next phase of the dance, conveniently, is the bunny hopping phase. It requires a significant jumping, limp wrists, but an attentive and intense eye contact. I would like each of you to roll intimidation.
Oh my god.
Natural one from Esmond.
It's so perfect, though.
What the fuck is happening, guys?
And the Seifert also rolls a 1. Oh, a 17.
Dope.
You feel the intensity of her eyes cut into your soul. Please describe fully what Seifert looks like in this moment.
I mean, she has a rabbit face. She looking at her straight on from this close almost gives the effect of those stabilized cameras where her head is at the center of his vision no matter how they move or how she dances, and her face is completely a stoic mask. If she could sweat, she would be sweating furiously.
You feel yourself falling into the depth of her stare.
She lets it linger for as long as possible before giving him a cheeky wink and spinning him off into the next part.
The wink is enough to nearly knock you off your feet as you go spinning. Who's there waiting?
I think is it just me left or no?
And Peach.
You and Peach?
Oh, please make it stop.
Yeah, Shalati, you go.
Peach, you go.
Shalati, you
You
go.
fall into both of their arms.
It's a line dance part or a circle dance part where
It's
it's
the
like the three and
choreographed
then
part.
the circle.
It's the choreographed
choreographed part.
All right, everyone.
Sounds great.
Everyone in town is supposed to know this one as you break into the incredibly complicated portion of the dance. You're supposed to memorize this. Every kid's supposed to know it. Please roll either history or investigation.
These are my worst. I couldn't do performance. Can Peach fake it?
I love
Can Peach
could I not
freestyle
do-
look good doing it?
Well, let's see
Could
how
I do
you let's see if you remember
dexterity
it
in
first.
history?
Maybe it'll roll well.
Could I do dexterity in history?
No, this is just for the memorization. Do you know the steps?
Body memory.
What is it going to be again? History?
This feels wrong for Shalati, considering she's already been established as loving to dance. I don't think she's been.
That's true. That's
Not
establishing
dancing
your
the entire
backstory.
time.
You get advantage.
Okay. Better.
Ah, that's better. All right, 11, and a 13. You remember almost all of the steps. Please describe the one step you each miss.
I think it's when they're all supposed to step away, but instead of stepping away, they like have missed a beat somewhere in it, and so they ended up stepping in and just collide into each other. If that sounds good.
I love it. Yeah, you both step. Well, you step in instead of out, so you both smack into Esmond and kind of squish him in the middle for just a moment before you go tumbling away. Peach, which one do you miss?
I think Peach misses one where she's perhaps reaching for Shalati and doesn't realize that Shalati has taken Ez's hand already, and so she just sort of trips forward into herself, but she's got very high performance, so she sort of spins off onto her own and lands well enough, making it look intentional.
All right. When you land, however, you do land with your heel on Esmond's toe. No! Esmond, please describe the part that you miss.
There's a part of the song or the part of the dance rather, where everyone is supposed to kind of dip forward and throw their elbows back, but he confuses the bits and dips at the incorrect time and gets elbowed by both Shalati and Peach in the face.
There's a hard crack and a blush that's not just from the embarrassment. Esmond stumbles a bit, stars swirling above his head. Casey gets the cue and boom, fireworks into the air. A big crescendo of fireworks explodes overhead.
I think when they accidentally elbowed him in the face, Shalati grabs his head and is like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Well, you look fine." And she's gonna like pat his forehead and then plant like a kiss on the top of it, and then pat him and then swirl away into the rest of the dance.
Peach stays there standing and is kind of laughing behind her hands. Do you want to go get a drink, Ez? Something to cool you off?
Esmond is dazed and confused and has kind of lost place of where he is at the moment, and so just kind of starts.
Peach would take his hand and bring him to refreshments.
But the dance isn't over yet. Now it's time for the climax of the whole dance.
Shalati swings by,
Yeah.
grabs Salinger if he's not already in it, and is going to pull him in. Her cheeks are flushed because she's been on her feet the entire night.
Sal surprisingly, gracefully moves his hips as if in a tango, and then spins her as he joins onto the floor.
Peach cuts eyes at Sal and Shalati.
Kibeth grabs her hands.
Doc will bring in Shalati's younger brother, pull him onto the floor, and sort of dance in front of with him in an awkward way.
Yev grabs Ava under the arms and lifts him up in the air and begins to spin wildly. Ash is on the dance floor as well.
Seifert and the bunnies are doing a coordinated dance together as well, almost competitively.
Bunnies are hopping.
Casey is seamlessly flowing through the crowd from person to person with his fire poi spinning around. He comes up to each person, he kind of dances and does a flourish around them and moves on to the next one.
I think Peach ultimately pulls Ez back to Ava and sort of shoves him in a general direction, saying, "Go on, dance, proper now. You've got practice. Do it better."
Kibeth is just standing there, sad-faced, as Peach leaves her to go do this while she's like, "Oh, you're going to dance."
Oh, I thought I had Ez's hand. Sorry, girl. Peach would go off and dance with Kibeth too.
I think you said, you said Ava. Did you mean Ava?
I meant Araya. I'm sorry. I meant Araya. Thank you. I did misspeak. But yes, so Peach would shove Ez toward Araya and say, "Dance proper now, all right? I saw you two awkward on the dance floor and everything, and your mom behind it. Come on, just make your mom happy, all right? She's the only one left." And then she shoves Ez bodily toward Araya, and then Peach would go off to find Salinger and Shalati and elbow into that.
Kibeth just stands there and looks very sad.
Oh, I don't know any of this. There was a part, and then she just holds your hands, arm distance you and her. You have to leave space for the maiden.
Oh my god.
Everyone gets in its version.
Yes.
The music slows just a bit, and a turtle slowly walks on the dance floor. Oh, the slow dance is my favorite part. He reaches out for Kibeth's hand. It's
Kibeth
Parcel Officer Simon.
She takes it very, like she's hanging her head, and she accepts it, and she's like, and she just kind of I feel like they just sway, very slowly back and forth, and Kibeth is like,
Yes, absolutely.
Then she's looking around desperately for anybody else. She's like, "Hello?"
I think when Peach came over, Shalati looked at her for a moment, and then her brows kind of rise up, and then she gives way and steps back to take a little bit of a breather. I think for maximum funny, if in the next part of the step she turns and comes face to face with Casey.
Casey is shirtless, no shoes, only his hair and pants on. The magma lines that run through his skin are brighter than usual, and his hair is a tasseled mess of red, fiery mohawk. He's sweating, and he has these two poi with a couple flames on each side that are spinning. As she turns, they almost run into each other, and he's grinning and breathing heavily.
I'm actually a little tipsy at this point, so she looks in for a moment and says, "Fuck it," and then is going, brushes the poi out of his hands. And hopefully they don't swing off into the crowd and kill someone.
No, he slings them as he takes her hands and just spins her and starts into a flurry of dance.
And she's not exactly smiling, but there is a sense of joyousness or freedom that she hasn't really evinced in a long time.
At the side of the dance floor, Lily leans against a table, sipping a drink, and rolls her eyes. Kibeth's sister, Sesha, is dancing with the youngest of her family. The bunnies all dancing in a circle with Seyfried, hopping. Some of them in unison, some of them missing the beat just a bit, but it's mostly the younger ones. Ash, kind of by herself. It seems to be happy to be so, at the very edge of the dance circle, spinning just a bit.
Beth looks at her like,
you see Aster and Maru kind of hopping along just outside the dance floor, having the time of their lives. You see who is dancing with Esmond right now? Okay. Right, as you spin, you feel a little. Well, first, give me a little, just a little scene of Esmond and Araya, just for a moment.
After Peach pushed Esmond along to dance back with Araya, still dazed and beat the sweat forming on his forehead and almost at the same time being dried away with a light breeze that isn't actually there. He just kind of stumbles over his words, trying to regaining himself. Did Peach say my mom put you guys up to this?
Well, your mom asked if I would dance with you, and we don't dance usually, but I feel, but I wanted to, so. I just didn't know that the dance was this involved. No one told me that.
Yeah, it's, there are actually several dances, and it's called a dance, but there are a bunch of steps to that dance, and they're all separate dances. I guess thanks.
Are you sure? I haven't seen you smile yet.
That's because I've been very dizzy this whole time, but this is the most relaxed I've felt in a long time, I think. So thanks, I guess, for pulling me out onto the floor with all of you.
Thanks for saying yeah.
For the record, this dance is easy. It's a it's a slow one. But even not even I can mess it up. So it's easy to figure out. So I mean, if you want, we can continue dancing while it's while there's still music.
Yeah, yeah. Is it okay if I look at your feet so I know what to do?
Yeah. Here, so it's really simple. We're just gonna sidestep and kind of circle around one another, but keep our hands on our. And he's very slowly kind of reaching out for your hips on our respective hips. It's just part of the dance, but he's keeping you fully at arm's length. Like, this is proper middle school.
Thank you.
Middle school dancing.
She would have allowed none closer. Oh, okay. She gently puts her hands on your shoulders.
Yeah. You dance and you twirl. You spin slow little steps back and forth, little square, little triangle. The music starts to come to its end. And Ray, you feel a little tug at the bottom of your skirt. You look down and you see the glassy eyes of Gwen. Can I come in?
Of course. She hands her son to the mom. Thank you.
She kind of pulls you down a little bit. Araya, Gwen kisses your hands, and then she looks up at Ez, lifts her arms up.
Hey, Mom. And Esmond will bend down and kind of hoist her up.
yeah, you pick her up. She kind of puts her hands on your shoulders. You can see there are kind of tears at the bottom of her eyes. She wraps her arms around your neck, lays her head on your shoulder. This dance is simple. All you gotta do is kind of sway and step in the square. She says, "You having a good day?"
Yeah, I guess I am. Did you bribe my friends to dance with me?
I wouldn't call it a bribe. They just all wanted to, and I told them it was okay. They needed permission. I could see it in their eyes.
Okay, but you've been baking a lot of pies. I know that you haven't been home a lot recently, but you still come home smelling like baked goods.
That's true. I mean, Esmond, I've told you like 1,000 times. Girls love pies.
I guess. Yeah. Are you okay?
Well, I don't know. Are you okay?
No, I haven't been for a while now. I don't.
Thanks, Blue.
No, I haven't really been okay for a while now, but I don't know. Today's kind of ending on a good note. First good note in a while, I think, actually.
Mm-hmm. That's how it works, Ez. There's bad stuff. But you just keep searching. You never stop searching. And you find the good things.
Even if the good things can be taken away from you.
Just be quiet for a while. You feel tears kind of on your shoulder. That's why it's really important that you don't take those things for granted. You never know.
I don't want anyone to lose anything like we did ever again. But I don't know what I can do to help ever stop that.
Well, it's easy. You're the best boy ever. You just do your best.
It's just that simple, huh? I just do my best. I don't know if I'm ready to. I don't know if I'm ready to give my best yet, but I guess I can start trying.
It's okay. You got all these friends. They'll help you out.
Yeah, I do. Asmodel will squeeze her squeeze her tighter and just kind of embrace her and just continue on with the dance.
You circle, and you circle, and you circle. And the Arnakis begins to counter-circle, stepping once to the left cell.
Ooh. One more dance thing.
One more dance.
Sal hears Casey's voice back in his head. You've been taking dance lessons? And when he takes that swing after his eyes goes gray, he just mumbles. Just natural rhythm. And swings as hard as he can.
Casey, did you have
The
one more?
shield dissipates on one arm when he does that, by the way, so he's swinging it two-handed.
Okay, give me 1 sec. Casey, did you mean you have one more dance thing you want to do?
We can do it as a flashback stinger if you want.
Okay. All right. Give it a roll.
So that's a 25
Ooh.
with the rage.
That will definitely hit. I mean,
With
that's
the extra
5.
damage, it's going to swing in for 7. I didn't have the rage bonuses on.
Okay, 7. Yeah, you smash the two-handed quarterstaff down into the creature. And boom! You just knock it into the dirt and kind of hay. Goes flying. It flicks its tail. You see it shakes its head. Oh, it's dazed really bad. You can see it's going to move a little slower now. You see it stumbles a little bit. Tail flips back and forth, and it looks at you a little differently than it had been. Roll animal handling.
How about a nat 20?
Yeah, you can see it's scared. In fact, it's desperate. And you, being so in tune with the creature's movement, you see it flicks an eye over at Araya.
So one more pss, pss, pss. You do that, you die.
You see it was tensing its muscles and lowering as though it was about to jump up into the rafters, and it freezes. Looks at you.
Or you can surrender.
With a natural 20, there's a low kind of clicking, kind of chirping from the creature. And it lowers its tail. Lowers its head. I think with a natural 20 you can tell it's genuinely surrendered.
I think he's got enough of a read on it to know that it doesn't want to be handled or touched. But he's going to just try and usher it back towards the pen without just walking beside it towards the pen where it was to see what it does.
Yeah. As though just something has clicked and changed in its mind as you take a step. At first it might be frightening. It weaves in between your legs for just a moment and then moves along with you towards the pen.
All right. I'm not going to try and put a muzzle on it or anything. I'm just going to close the gate for now.
And the pen turns around. There's a little chirping from it. It doesn't jump out. You know it could. Pretty easily. But it doesn't.
He's going to turn around, kind of scratch his head, looking a little befuddled. He turns his back on the thing without thinking. I think we learned something. Real damn smart.
Smart enough to know you mean business.
Did you just hit it once with a stick and bend it to your will?
Whoa, I hit it real hard with a stick, and we'd been having a conversation the whole time. That was a complex, choreographed dance between man and beast.
Can I do a checkers thing to see how much I saw of what was going on between them?
Yeah, absolutely. You can roll insight or animal handling, your choice. I'll give you kind of different answer based on what you get.
Can I also
Oh.
do... Oh my god.
Natural 20 from Charlotte. Cypher, you can as well if you want to figure out how much information you get. So you did animal handling. Yeah, you're, Charlotte, you totally following step by step along with kind of what happened there. Cypher, you can tell that Salinger's like mannerisms changed quite a bit as he was interacting with the creature in a way different from like how you would with a person. Like even in a fight. Like you've seen Salinger train at fighting before. This was different.
From sitting with her legs still dangling over the side, Ava kind of claps without really making a sound and looks around. And also looks both excited and just mildly disappointed.
So does that mean we have to figure out how to feed it?
Means I have to figure out how to feed it.
Ez can build you a saddle for it. Right, Ez?
It ain't big enough to ride. It's a baby. Yes, I hit a baby with a stick before somebody says it.
I mean, it'll grow up.
Yeah, it will.
So we're not gonna eat it?
No. It's smart enough to be tamed. That means we can figure the thing out, understand how it behaves, maybe enough to avoid the rest of them so we don't have to try and exterminate them, but can go around, get to that temple faster. Imagine how long it would have taken to hunt down every single monster out there coming through that rift.
But we're not just trying to figure out how to avoid them. We have to make the road safe so that everyone else can travel between here and the place, the temple.
By understanding the thing that was hunting us. If we know it, we don't have to fear it. Like understanding how to keep wolves away when you're moving your flock, right, Shalati?
You see the creature easily leaps up out of the pen and like lands kind of on the side rail of it, just balancing there. And its just eyes are fixed on Salinger. Salinger, describe for us a little bit about like your color palette right now, what you're wearing and stuff like that.
Okay, so Sal's wearing kind of a deep orange undershirt and then a bluish gray vest on top of it. He has actually tried on a little cravat, but it's gotten pretty loose at this point, just kind of dangling from him. It's also a warm color, probably somewhere between magenta and red. Nice boots, regular fitting clothes, a little bit dusty, and one of the legs was torn during the fight, but kind of grew itself back together. If anybody's paying really close attention.
And your fur is still like burgundy, right?
The fur is still a burgundy color. During the rage in the fight, he's probably got a few curls popping out that normally aren't there.
Cool. Yeah, you see that the creature, all its feathers and fur flares up, and then changes color to kind of be orange just with highlights of blue to match Salinger.
Sal, I don't think you just hit a baby. I think you just gained a baby.
Papa
What now?
Salinger. Papa Morel.
You seem a little young, but I think this is a proud moment for you.
Congratulations.
She's gonna clap him on the shoulder and say, "I never knew you had it in you, having a very large, very dangerous baby like this."
This is so much worse than the chicken in my room, Sal. What have you done?
Sal kind of bites his lip and flushes a little bit, holding his hand up. He just had an instinct moment when Shalati clapped him on the back just in case. Yeah, well. Yeah, I guess I gotta name it now. It turns around and he's just beaming at the thing.
Chirps
More,
and clicks.
more importantly, do you think... do we get a chance to sex it while we were waiting?
I was gonna ask Ava that next, actually.
Do we have to what?
Get a chance to sex it.
Oh, yeah, sure. I mean, we examined it while it was unconscious a little bit. I mean, I spent
We
some time
had
with
to,
the
of
body,
course.
too.
We had to leave space for the maiden, though.
Nah.
Ray was
Maiden is the dinosaur.
Yeah, Salinger, roll a d20.
sweet, random.
11 or higher is a girl.
There you go.
It's a girl.
It's a girl.
And what a girl.
Pink confetti.
This is the weirdest gender reveal party I've ever been to.
Most of the ones you've attended don't involve combat.
They should.
They're doing it wrong.
More importantly, do you think that she can come with us when we go to examine the portal, or do you think she'll be safe enough to leave here?
I think give me a little time, I'll ask. I don't see why not.
More to the point, I assume that the passivity doesn't apply to anyone else, really. So it could be disproportionately dangerous to leave someone else in charge of her than it would be for Sal to be in charge of her wherever he is.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, entirely my responsibility. Shouldn't leave my side. Still a very dangerous predator, just like I wouldn't just hand Babs to any of you. She'd tear you to pieces, and she's only maybe 8-10 pounds.
Just like a gosling. Once they impress on someone, you don't want them to leave the gosling behind. They're vicious.
Just be careful, though, because, yeah, it might be like a gosling or like a chicken, but it isn't a gosling or a chicken. It could tear you to shreds. You need to be so careful, Sal. It may love you like its mother, but what if these things ate their mothers?
Kibeth is halfway through trying to slowly approach and see if she can pet it. She's like, what?
Nah, wait, maybe give it a day or a little time before other folks try to.
Kibeth backs up and puts her hand behind her back.
Well, how long do we want to give it? The verdict wanted us to get out to see if we could get to the temple as soon as we could. I think he wanted us out by tomorrow still.
Yeah, well, we can leave tomorrow. I just mean before anybody tries to pet the recently tamed, extremely dangerous bird lizard.
I think this is...
What's its name?
Her name's Poppy.
I think this seems like one of the best case scenarios, to be honest. I mean, the point was to try to learn things about the Arnakis' behavior, and that'll be a lot easier. We just won't learn as much about the other things we were trying to learn, but we'll learn more about some of the things that would have been more difficult if she was incredibly aggressive and would only try to kill everyone at every opportunity. Sorry for you, though, Ava.
And she is frowning. So, should I heal it? She asked petulantly.
I don't want to completely ruin your day. Natural mending's fine. I probably need to learn how to care for the girl's wounds anyway, don't I?
But if you healed it, would that grow its talons back? I don't think we want them back just yet.
I don't think so.
Nah, it won't restore missing limb. Like, you would need like a restoration.
I don't think God would allow that.
Everyone looks to Araya.
Plus, Ava, you can still study it plenty in captivity. You know, you were talking about figuring out whether it's venomous and the sort of things it eats. You can still study all of that and just, you know, get to cut it open.
It's not as much fun if it's not invasive.
Oshka. And then she's going to look at the rest and say, I suppose I'll go see if I can find any stakes or something not alive and moving. I suppose if we're going to try and teach her to not eat living things in town, we should start as soon as possible.
I
Well,
agree.
when you looked at the teeth, are all of them sharp or just the front teeth?
You had time to do that. Yeah, they're all sharp.
I don't think it's an omnivore. Looks like
Right.
fish.
Hopefully some fish.
Or bugs. Like a chicken, right?
It's a lot of
That thing would
bugs.
eat a nulla.
It can clear out the tunnels for us.
I mean, let's make sure it lives and doesn't kill us all before we try to train it to be some kind of battle pet for Salinger.
I guess if we're gonna keep it, we have to stop saying it and start saying
Poppy.
Can you get big enough to ride it someday?
Probably like cancer head as you all say that at the same time.
Sal's going to do something adorable for a second. Leans under her chin and says, "Yeah, that's right. That's you," and gives her a little scritch.
Chirping noises.
All right, so this was different. Are we gonna try to get some rest and head out tomorrow, or do you want some extra days to stay around and play, learn about this before we head towards the temple?
No, we can learn as we go. Head out first thing.
All right, I'll do some studying. Maybe I can figure it out without implementing and actually practicing. You know, maybe I can figure stuff out.
And I believe we're canonically, Doc estimates 2 weeks until the verdict is ready to fight.
Mm-hmm.
I think Shalati is musing aloud. Puppy Aldemir Worrell. That was nice. And the middle name that she gave it in Giant means Little Hill.
Sal does panic for a second, but then just goes back to beaming at the dinosaur. Something you'd all probably noticed, since you've known him your whole life, Sal always seems serious, always seems pretty formal, but he is acting like a little kid, which is it's very unusual.
Well, it's like you got a puppy for naming day.
No, but you have known him as much as I do, Araya. He's never been this happy. I've known him since he was 6 years old. Just be careful with it, Sal.
Yeah.
I mean her. Be careful with Poppy.
As that was building up the entire time, Yev throws his hands in the air. That was awesome!
Shalati looks like she wants to say something, but then she's like she can't because it was awesome.
Any final scenes for tonight?
What was the name of the cat?
Babs.
It's gonna be tough introducing those two.
Out of character. Two badass bitches. It'll be fine.
Casey's still leaning against the wall, as relaxed as ever in the barn. Has never had a doubt.
All right. Some months ago, back during the festival. Casey, what you want to do?
Yeah, the dance is still raging. Casey and Shalati are in the thick of it. Dance, flamboyant, bombastic, all over the floor. Comes a moment in the dance where they pull in close together. Casey wraps his arm around her waist and pulls her in close. And he grins at her, looks deep into her eyes and says, "Our paths no doubt lead through danger and death. Peril not known to any man or beast. But it's a path I'll gladly travel if it means another dance with you. Your fire burns bright. My world is cold without it."
Lottie stops dead at this, shoves him back with both hands, and says, "Where was this when I asked you to support me when you weren't around? Why only now?" And she's not waiting for it. She's not going to wait for an answer, and she turns around, makes her way out of the crowd.
And Casey stands there, breathing heavily, still glistening with sweat from the dance. The magma lines and the flame of his hair is a little bit dimmer. And he turns back to the crowd of dancing revelers, snaps his fingers, and then spins into another dance.
At the edge of the dance floor, Yev glances around nervously, then sets the fuse. And an hour early, all the fireworks stream up into the air. Massive explosions fill the sky. Naming Day Festival is complete. You did a good job.
Yay.
But none of our names changed. What is this naming day?
One
Poppy
change.
said.
Okay, I accept that.
Nothing happened that I expected to happen, except for a dinosaur fight.
Me either. That dinosaur was going to go try to rip Araya's throat out, and you rolled a natural 20.
Yeah, that yay. Yay.
I mean, it's still mine.
I can't believe we've tamed the dinosaur that was supposed to attack our team. We've saved the Clockwork Verdict, who was supposed to die in a horrible train crash, and now he's RoboCop. Like, this is...
We killed the blue laurel chicken before he became a blue laurel
chicken before he became
yeah.
a blue laurel dragon.
Are we competent? What is this?
No.
Don't
Just very
jinx
lucky.
it. Don't jinx
feels
it.
pretty comfy. Yeah, no, natural 20s are definitely luck.
Just
The problem is, like, this is a real high, which just means the fall is going to hurt that much more.
no. One thing to point out is that we had an incredibly fun dance sequence in which we got so many natural ones.
Yeah.
And then when we went back to the fight scene, natural 20s abound.
That's got to be the whole strategy, is you got to flashback to dance sequences right before big fights. Use all your ones, going strong.
Yep.
It sounds right. It sounds good.
Or at the very least, get a bunch of inspirations.
Every bit of combat is going to be interspersed with flashbacks to dance scenes that.
Oh my
No,
god!
no,
Yes,
we can
though.
we can change it up. We don't
All
have
the
to be
teen
dance
drama.
scenes. It doesn't have to be that. It just
Oh
has
my
to be
God.
embarrassing. It just has to be embarrassing Kevin. That's all
Yes,
it is. It has to
the
be making
teen
him uncomfortable.
drama.
No, embarrassing moments for any of us, not just Kevin.
Yeah, we
Just
are
Kevin.
all teenagers, so the embarrassing moments need to occur.
Mhm. It'll happen to everybody.
A good balance of team drama to heroic sounds.
Esmond is the easy target for teen embarrassment, so
He is.
it's not the worst idea.
Araya, way
He
to
had fun with it, though.
guilt him onto the dance floor. That was the perfect move.
Well, okay, so she actually was interested in dancing. However, it is not allowed. But shit went wild. And so, there are no priestesses around to tattle on her.
Nuns are all gone.
Because they're all dead. The nuns are
You know,
none more.
I am
In
deeply
the belly of the
anticipating.
Aranaka.
Yeah.
I just want to just fixate on a moment on the pure opposing spectrums that are Esmond and Casey, and I just want to appreciate that so much.
For real.
Are you finally coming around and realizing that Casey is never wrong?
And he shakes his magic 8 ball.
I will never acknowledge it.